A traitor. The comments sparked a major backlash from Shiv Sena, with workers burning the comedian's photos and vandalizing the Habitat Comedy Club in Mumbai's car.
देखा ना आपने वीडियो?
देखा है, होटल को जाके देख ले, हम लोग ने क्या हाल किया। अभी तू जिधर मिलेगा ना, तेरा भी वही हाल होगा।
Divyesh, rather, for more details on that story at this point in time. Divyesh, what is being said by the BMC about the hammer noise that...
So just sharing my thoughts on the Kunal Kamra episode, which has erupted and is all over the news, and that's what's getting discussed in the cyberspace in India. Now, first things first, is Kunal Kamra a hypocrite? Yes, he is. I mean, here was the same chap who was celebrating the demolition of the office of Kangana Ranaut, whose thoughts he didn't agree with. And he also obviously is friendly with the political players who were involved in that. So, of course, he has his... he is part of the political arena, and he has his share of political clout, which was there also in his show, Shut Up Ya Kunal. Of course, no one grudges him for that, but he's not like someone, people like who've got like many, I mean, the names are not important, but just ordinary people who got jail terms because they didn't even make a cartoon of a politician, they shared it. Right, professors in Bengal, many people in Maharashtra, every state, you name it, and no party is immune to it. It's not only the national parties who have done this to people when they have felt that a certain derogatory comment was made against them, their leader, their demigods, or a regional party. In fact, regional parties are much more brutal when it comes to this, right? So freedom of speech that way is selective. But even though if he was celebrating Kangana Ranaut's office demolition, that still does not justify the action, towards him, like the threats, the abuses, and him having to take refuge in Tamil Nadu right now. But yeah, let's establish that this is not someone who does not have backing of other political players. So he is political in that sense. So he's not the martyr or the revolutionary that his side is painting him to be. But the fact is that if he celebrated Kangana Ranaut's office demolition, he celebrated whatever was happening to her. And today, let's say, for example, that she agrees with what's happening to him. But that still does not change the funda of freedom of expression. I mean, first principles don't change based on what someone's behavior is. I mean, Kamra's behavior does not justify what first principles over freedom of expression should be, or Kangana's, right? I mean, those are particular laws, and those are, what the Constitution guarantees. The other question is that are huge sections of right-wingers hypocrites? Of course they are. Are huge sections of left-wingers hypocrites? Of course they are. Are we all hypocrites in varying days? Of course we are. But being a hypocrite cannot be a law. I mean, there cannot be a law saying, hey, this guy's a hypocrite and put him behind the bars, right? I mean, you disturb law and order, you disturb the safety of citizens, and when you damage and vandalize property, like what happened after Kamra, left that property, that is against the law. Being a jerk, being a hypocrite is not against the law. So now the question also is, does any politician in general in India take brutal commentary towards him lightly? The answer is resoundingly no, they don't. And let's not get into this escapism where, we say that, it's just the politicians, where they don't come from Mars or Venus or Jupiter or Mercury. They come from Earth. They come from India. They come from those very dingy, narrow lanes where we, curse the people who come from there. But they are one of them. They are one of us. So it is our society. Also, I want to share my thoughts that, in the 90s, we would listen about the most wanted people being likes of Dawood Ibrahim, Chota Raj, and today it is Samay Raina, who seems to be the most wanted. It is Ranveer Ilahabadia, who seems to be most wanted. It is Kunal Kamra. So food for thought. These are the most wanted 3 people right now in India. Rest also want to understand. I don't agree with a lot of his perspectives. As long as he's not calling for violence, as long as he's not calling for threatening the territorial integrity of India, he can say what the hell he wants to say. He can believe in his own delusions. He backs someone like Umar Khalid. He peddles the narrative of Muslim victimhood, which leftists do, and like right wingers peddle the narrative of Hindu victimhood. But that's, you can disagree with that, but that's still their freedom of speech, right? For both sides. So and it's not me or you or Kunal Kamra or Kangna Ranaut or XYZ who gives that to us. That's the constitution which gives it to us. The question is that the left wing in India wants their own kind of freedom of expression. The right wing in India wants their own vision of freedom of expression. So सब में थोड़ा थोड़ा बांट देते हैं, जो बचेगा वो freedom of expression रहेगा. And like I said, coming back to the fact, he's no political novice. He obviously has well-wishers in the opposition. He's hence gone to Tamil Nadu. And I mean, of course, the track record of that government in Tamil Nadu is also not that great when it comes to freedom of expression. They have founded their fair share of critiques. So, yes, whether it's Kunal Kamra's freedom of expression, whether it's Kangna Ranaut's, or whether it's anyone's, as long as they don't call for direct violence, as long as they don't call for threatening the very territorial integrity of India, even though Kamra supports Umar Khalid, whose views were very clear on supporting secessionist terrorist groups against the Indian security forces, but as long as he doesn't directly say that. So, these are my thoughts on Kunal Kamra, and I don't know if Amna is going to record hers, but this is what I feel. And there is no state in India or no political party which has not hounded its share of critiques and come up with clumsy reasons, or leave that when it comes to blasphemy with regards to religion, when it comes to every religion which is there in India, right, goes after anyone who they feel that has offended their sentiments. And sometimes it can be, someone can take offense to some other slur with regard, which ethnic, state, movie. Sometimes, I mean, cricketers, their fans are like berserk, movie stars. So yeah, so those are my thoughts, and let's see what Amna has to say about the whole episode. Thank you.
So first of all, hello everyone. It's been very long to be here and create any video for the India this week, and I also have decided that I will give it a rest because of the time issue and a lot of things right now in my plate. However, I mean, fortunately, you can say, or good thing is that I think we can make it work. So mostly Khalid will be leading this YouTube channel, but I will keep trying to be here as much as possible. And about this recent incident of Kunal Kamra, I would like to start from first that, okay, at least someone is standing their ground. I mean, I do agree almost everything Khalid has said in this video. So that's very fine. But recently, so many issues we have seen where artists and comedian are asking for forgiveness for hurting sentiment, or to basically hurting sentiment of community, और मतलब किसी भी पॉलिटिशियन का भी अगर को मॉक कर दिया या कुछ, तो सॉरी बोल के निकल जाते हैं. तो वहाँ पे डिस्पाइट agreeing with Khalid that okay, hypocrisy है, और there are sides and everything, and he has a backup also, like certain one ecosystem kind of is standing up for him. But I would still admire his stand here. Like, unlike so many comedians who are giving up so easily, he's going for this battle, which is needed to be done by everyone if you really want to shape up a nation where we can have a certain kind of freedom of speech. Look, I am not absolutist freedom of speech. I know there are people who do believe in it. I also believe that there are certain reality of our nation, and there are in India absolutist freedom of speech supporter, but still they would say that okay, if there is a threat to the nation integrity और nation को कोई threat है तो वो freedom of speech नहीं होनी चाहिए वहाँ पे, that won't categorize as a freedom of speech. So for me, also there are certain guidelines and rules which I do think should be followed. However, those guidelines should be very like very well defined and should be always debated on as well. um, so apart from that, still स्टेट को कितना पावर होना चाहिए फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच को सेंसर करने का, ये बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है. एंड व्हेन वी आई थिंक अबाउट इट, आई जस्ट आई मीन जो खालिद ने बोला उसके आगे सिर्फ मैं 2 पॉइंट ही ऐड करना चाहती हूँ जो मुझे समझ में आता है. वो सबसे पहला है कि हम लोग इतने ज़्यादा बढ़ चुके हैं कैंप में और अपने इकोसिस्टम में और अपने थॉट प्रोसेस में, और जो भी हम सोचते हैं उसमें हम इतना डिवाइड हो चुके हैं कि हम एक विज़न क्या है हमारा अपने नेशन को शेप अप और बिल्डअप करने के लिए, वो कहीं ना कहीं हम भूल रहे हैं. क्योंकि अगर हम ये चीज़ भूल जाते हैं तो हम हर तरह के प्रिंसिपल्स भी भूल जाते हैं. हम प्रिंसिपल्स, एथिक्स और फ्रेमवर्क के बारे में तभी बात करते हैं जब हमारा एक विज़न है इन अपने नेशन को शेप अप करने के लिए. बट जब हम बहुत डिवाइड हो जाते हैं और बहुत सिली बातों पे झगड़ा करते हैं और अपने ईगो और उस डिवाइड के आगे नहीं देख पाते, तो हम वो प्रिंसिपल्स यूनिफॉर्मली अप्लाई नहीं करना चाहते हैं. एंड दैट्स व्हाट इज़ हैपनिंग, लाइक वन साइड इज़ सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल व्हाट्स योर विज़न. सो ये विज़न जो फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच का है ये मोस्टली लिबरल साइड से ही आता है, बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम यू सी दैट कि ये फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच सबके लिए होना चाहिए, सो हम हर तरह के आइडिया को डिस्कस कर सकें एंड क्रिटिसिज्म फेयरली हो सके, या कोई आइडिया अगर है सोसाइटी में जो हमें लगता है कि नहीं अच्छा है और नहीं लॉजिकल रैशनल है, हम उस पर बात कर सकें. तो ये विज़न है हमारा या नहीं है. एंड सैडली मेजॉरिटी ऑफ इंडियन, अगर हम नॉर्मल लोगों से बात करें पॉपुलेशन से, वो नहीं समझते इन चीज़ों को और उनको बहुत ज़्यादा सेंटिमेंट को लेकर के और स्पेशली रिलीजियस और कम्युनिटी सेंटिमेंट को लेकर के बहुत ज़्यादा सेंसिटिव है. तो यहाँ पर ही रोल आता है जो लोग रैशनैलिटी की बात करते हैं, वो इस आइडिया को आगे बढ़ाना चाहते हैं कि हमने इस सेंसिटिविटी के पार जाना है एंड इट्स जस्ट द बैटल ऑफ आइडिया. तो क्या हम वो नेशन बनाना चाहते हैं? नहीं, दैट्स अ फर्स्ट थिंग. सेकेंड थिंग, अगर हम वो बनाना चाहते हैं तो क्या हम वो आइडिया यूनिफॉर्मली अप्लाई करना चाहते हैं? नहीं. अगर आप फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच रियली चाहते हो तो आपको उन लोगों की फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच को भी सपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा जिनको आप इसके आप सोचते हो कि सबसे हिपोक्रेट है, जो नहीं डिज़र्व करते, मे बी आपको लगता है. बट बेसिकली एक प्रिंसिपल है जिस पे आप नेशन क्रिएट करना चाहते हो, तो ये प्रिंसिपल सब पे अप्लाई होगा. तो हमें अपने इकोसिस्टम, अपने इको चैम्बर, आप अगर लेफ़्ट साइड हो या लिबरल साइड हो या राइट साइड हो, जिस भी साइड पे आप हो, क्या आप ये प्रिंसिपल्स अदर साइड के लोगों को जिनके आइडिया को आप नहीं पसंद करते हो उनको भी एक्सेस करने देना चाहते हो या नहीं? दैट इज़ द लिटमस टेस्ट बेसिकली. सो ये सबसे पहला पॉइंट है. सेकंड, जब हम कई बार चाहते हैं कि ओ ये आइडिया अच्छा है, लेकिन हम इतने ज़्यादा अपने ट्राइबलिस्टिक माइंडसेट में और साइड में बिजी हैं कि हमें लगता है कि ओ ये आइडिया अच्छा है और हम तो ये एक्सेस करेंगे, बट जो आइडिया हमें पसंद नहीं है हम उसको नहीं वो सेम फ्रीडम देना चाहते हैं. तो फिर हम एक इस तरह का सोसाइटी डेवलप करने लगते हैं जहाँ पे हमें बिलीव हो जाता है कि जिसके पास पावर है और जो वही उसकी सुनी जाएगी बेसिकली. सो इफ़ वी आर एट द साइड ऑफ द समवन at the side of the ecosystem who is in right now has a more say in it, has a more power, is in basically state में उनकी गवर्नमेंट है, तो हम जो भी कहेंगे और हम बिल्कुल कन्विंस है कि जो हम कह रहे हैं वही सही है और वही आइडिया से इंडिया जो है शेप अप होना चाहिए. सो देन that only create very authoritarian kind of mindset, which further all is problematic in a long term. अभी आपको नहीं दिखेगा, but आपको लगता है कि अभी आप पावर में हो तो आपकी सुनी जाएगी, कल को कोई और पावर में होगा तो वो भी इसी चीज़ को अप्लाई करेगा. So the idea is here to going to be permanently, rest things can और चेंज होती रही है, हमने हिस्ट्री में देखी है. सो दैट शुड बी आवर कंसर्न कि हमें लगता है कि ओ फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच है और हमारी होनी चाहिए, और क्योंकि हम तो अभी साइड में हैं अथॉरिटी के, तो हमें तो मिलेगी. अगर ये क्रैक डाउन हो भी रहा है तो उन पे हो रहा है जो नहीं है पावर में. दैट्स अ वेरी रॉन्ग वे टू थिंक, बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली वी आर वैल्यूइंग नॉट द प्रिंसिपल, वी आर वैल्यूइंग द पावर. कि जिसके पास पावर है उसके लिए सारे फ्रीडम है, जिसके पास नहीं है वो अपने उस फ्रीडम को एक्सरसाइज नहीं कर सकता है. एंड हमें इस बारे में सोचना पड़ेगा. अगर आप नेशन के बारे में ज़्यादा सोचते हैं तो आप बिल्कुल इस बारे में ज़्यादा वरी करेंगे कि इवन दो दोज पीपल हु हैव नॉट सेम ideas and ideology, if they can if they have the same access to the freedom of speech or whatever principle you believe in. So that's like a very I would say like a theoretical, and that's only two things I wanted to add. Basically we have to now think about what kind of the society we want to build, how we want to shape our nation. So yeah, that's it. And rest Khalid ने जो मेन बातें बोलनी थी वो उसने बोल ही दी है. And I hope like more and more comedian like they or artists, I can agree and disagree with their ideas. I hope they also stand their ground and fight for their basic right of freedom of speech. So yeah, that's it. And hopefully we will be more regular on the India this week. Thank you.